What's up, everybody? So we're going to dedicate this episode, this little quickie thing, to this right here would have to be DEI. The DEI. We're going to call this DEI episode 1. This would be Fani Willis, and apparently she's, for somebody who's supposedly well experienced in the courtroom as a district attorney and prosecutor. I'm glad she's not my doctor. I'm just going to put it to you like that right there. Or my mechanic, or my plumber, or my attorney. I don't know. But this is her, and I've been seeing a lot with this dude. The Shackaroo. This is her and Shaq. And she's going to tell us, what she's doing. Thanks, Don McCree, for putting this out, by the way. Good dude, a good guy. There's a lot of people putting this content out, and we need to spread it because this is what they've hired to go after the number one president that we've had in the United States this side of Lincoln. And that would be Trump, of course. You're going to try. Listen to this right here. And by the way, hold on. Let me just get right there.
Georgia, I'm Dr. Shaquille O'Neal.
And I'm Fulton County District Attorney-elect Fani Willis. We are wishing you a happy holidays and asking you to vote one more time this year.
Fani, voters in Georgia got a lot done this year. They elected new sheriffs and district attorneys like you who will bring innovative new approaches to criminal justice reform.
That's right. A record number of voters turned out in the Democratic primary that elected me. And then a record number showed up to turn Georgia blue in November. But the job's not done, Jack.
There's a lot at stake in this final election. Direct payments to Georgians who've lost their jobs, or income payments to keep restaurants and small businesses open.
So, I'm just going to stop it there because really, she said that a record number of votes and a record number of this and all that. By the way, this whole case got started because of something that happened in Georgia that didn't seem legitimate. This happened in 2020. And Donald Trump asked Brad Raffensperger to my phone's going off. Yes, phone. To look into this and see if he could find the votes that were missing for whatever reason. I don't know what, I'm not claiming anything, YouTube. I'm just saying this is what the phone call was in its context. And then Brad Raffensperger has recorded the phone call, which was illegal at the time because there was no notification given about the phone call being recorded. Edits the phone call, then puts the phone call in a public setting through radio stations and other places, which then kind of acclimated the public for what's happened and promoted it on television, I think. It got out. The phone call got out, but it wasn't in context. And there was certain parts that were missing that gave them that said, oh, we better take up charges on this because he's trying to interfere with our 2020 process of choosing our leaders. Well, then I'm just giving us a little recap. Well, here we are. Well, okay, so Fani Willis took out a bunch of charges against Trump. Had indictments built off of that. Really weird phone call that was produced. Allegedly not legally. The phone call, the way it was done. And there's some blowback that's happened because now that put her in the public eye. And Fani Willis's history doesn't just start here at this court case. It actually goes all the way back to some of her prior court cases where she was accused of having affairs with some gang leaders. So she's the way that she talks, even in a professional settings, she doesn't use very articulate words to describe what she's trying to say. She uses a lot of ebonics and ghetto talk is what we would call that. And it's okay, but if you're in a professional setting, typically your persona is what you perceive by portraying that. Is that enough big words for us today? So let's get back to this. Here is Nathan Wade, then it's full context of them asking him about a cabin that they stayed at. I love this response. This is all right. This man, right, this is the same response he gave his current wife that he was cheating on with Fani Willis, allegedly. He looked at her and just said this right here.
Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
Ever?
Ever.
Ever? all of a sudden, outcasts come popping out. Ever? Ever. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Woo! I am for real. He just looks up and goes, dang, I'm busted. I don't know what to say. And I'm not slowing this, but this is in real time. I'm not slowing this down. He just stares out. He's just hoping it will. He gives the same look as if whenever you get pulled over without driver's license and you're driving the car and you see the cop get behind you and then you're like, oh crap. And then you see him throw the blue lights on. You just kind of hope that he'll, just maybe turn them off and just not pull you over. You're just looking in the rearview mirror and he just, anyway. So, and it gets worse. It gets a lot worse. Here is Michael Roman's attorney, by the way, the one that did not roll over on Donald Trump. This is gold. This is gold. She's not backing down. And they're going. I'm just waiting on Fani Willis to say something about the race card in the middle of the court case.
And if you want me to proffer what I anticipate she's going to say, I talked to her last night. She's going to say that there was a personal relationship that began in October of 2019. She's going to testify to that. And she has personal direct knowledge of that. It's not hearsay and it's not privilege. She's going to take the stand. She's terrified, but she's going to take the stand and tell the truth. And then I plan on calling Mr. Wade, because at that point I can overcome their motion to quash and bring Mr. Wade, bring him to come. Then I can go through privilege issues with him, and then I can have Mr. Bradley testify. And we won't have to have an objection to every single question I ask Mr. Bradley. An objection to hearsay, an objection to privilege. So that's how I plan on presenting the evidence, because it makes the most sense. And I think I'll be able to overcome any privilege objections. But we can talk about that when Mr. Wade takes his stand. And
wow, that's really good. This is on Public Broadcast Network. This is on PBS. There's a lot. PBS is a whole section dedicated to hating white people on their one channel that they have, because now that digital TV got PBS 4.123, I don't know what it is on your TV, but long story short, there's like you flip it on one and it's like, okay, yep, white people suck, white people suck, white people suck. That's all it is. And they're sitting there talking about how bad the white race is. So they're watching this, like hating it, hate watching that. Okay, all right. So digging into this a little bit more, there was a huge truck explosion, but we'll talk about that in another video. Tucker Carlson actually buys stuff at Russia at really cheap price. And okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. This is a little bit more. This is a longer video, but this is internet gold. This is history in the making. This is something to talk about for years to come. So let's check it out.
And I've been very anxious to have this conversation with you today. So I ran to the courtroom.
So as soon as you heard that Mr. Wade was done testifying, that's when you just assumed you would be the next witness?
It only makes sense.
Did you...
So what happened is, like, in the middle of the testimony, she comes busting in there. She wasn't even called to the stand yet, I don't believe. I believe she just came busting in there and was like, wait a minute, I need to say something. She's trying to do damage control. But I think instead of grabbing the can that had water in it, she threw the wrong gas. I think she grabbed a gas can instead and actually put a little fuel in the fire.
Listen to any of the testimony?
I've been in my office pacing, ma'am.
Did you listen to any of the arguments?
I did hear the arguments this morning. It's ridiculous to me that you lied on Monday, and yet here we still are. And I did listen to that argument.
All right, so that was it, just the argument, no testimony.
Right, I listened to the argument this morning where Adam Abadi, I thought, did an excellent job pointing out how dishonest you were with the court on Monday. And I'm actually surprised that the hearing continued. But since it did, here I am.
Great. So let's just talk about what you did in preparation for today. Did you meet with Mr. Wade at all? Once the motion was filed, did you meet with Mr. Wade and talk to him about the motion that I filed to disqualify you?
On this first January motion?
Yes.
I don't know if you could say talked about. I probably had some choice words about some of the things that you said that were dishonest within this.
She jumped all over Nathan Wade. She was like, you better say this, you better say that, you better say this, and don't you say nothing about that. You keep your mouth shut. So it was rough on him. That's why Nathan Wade just looks up and goes, because he knows his world's crumbling. His very first high-profile case outside of being an injury attorney. That's all he was before he started this. In case you're new to this channel, you've just seen this content for the first time and you're starting to tune in, or if you want to hate watch this as a lefty, think about this. They used somebody who was never even involved in a felony case, has never prosecuted a RICO case, was only an ambulance chaser / an injury attorney to do this. And you have this mess right now. And she had to sleep with him, allegedly, possibly, maybe. We don't know. We're going to find out.
So I don't know that it was a conversation. As you know, Mr. Wade is a Southern gentleman. Me, not so much.
Okay, but my question was, did you have a conversation with
I
him?
didn't have a substantive conversation.
You did not?
I read this motion, skimmed it more so, and I've probably said some choice things to him about.
That's where she said, Nathan Wade is getting fussed at by his ex-wife. He's getting fussed at by Fani Willis. And then the bad thing is, look, here's the deal. This is the thing about it. In case, guys, you decide that there's grass that's greener on the other side, what ends up usually happening is you find yourself completely alone altogether because the person you're messing with was trash to begin with. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been trying to sleep with you during the inside of a marriage. And the person that you were with for years and years and years who actually really did love you now doesn't want you anymore. And this person this whole relationship's got to stop now. So this man is at home right now. When he goes home, he has to turn his television on, wherever that might be, and I guess they call it the handy method. Now he's reduced to 5 fingers and Pamela Anderson, if you will, I guess we'll call it. But yeah, now Nathan Wade is visiting Pamela Anderson because and he's about to lose his whole career. This is crazy, guys.
Some of the lies they were told.
Okay.
And then printed in the media because, we used to be in a day and time where you had 60 Minutes and people did stories and they verified information.
We had a day and time when you had 60 Minutes and people used to do stories. We still got 60 Minutes and they still do stories. They tell really big stories. 60 Minutes is probably one of the longest standing propaganda networks after they had Barbara Wawa on there. And she was medium okay, but now 60 Minutes has went completely berserker and it started right after Donald Trump's presidency because they knew they had to use that for more damage control. So good luck.
And you had this great reporting, but it seems today that a lawyer writes a lie and then it's printed for all of the world to see.
Well, I just want to make sure that you answer the question I asked, though. So my question was...
Overruled, Mr. Vladi.
I told you what happened. I read the motion. I am sure I told him what my opinion of it is.
She uses the word opinion very strategically in this court case because she's trying to avoid being under perjury. So when you use the word opinion, that doesn't mean that you are telling him facts. You're using an opinionated.
And I've been very anxious to have this
it's supposed to give you a gray area to work with in prosecutions. And I've got to, it's gold. This is internet.
Well, I'm
gold.
not sure what you called it, condo apartment. Would he come and stay at that condo or visit you there? I'm sorry, visit you there.
What condo, what apartment? I want to be clear.
So not your house. I know you classified one as house and one as condo. So I'm trying to use those terms.
So there's been more see, what you don't understand is because of this case, I got to move. And so I need to...
If you could ask him more.
Okay, she's going to blame the case because now she's got to move. The case is in place because of what she did, not holding herself accountable for actually doing something wrong. This is the case's fault that her life is crumbling. She has nothing to do with the fact that you were put in charge of prosecuting a previous sitting president and not actually holding it under ethical circumstances. And then she's going to blame other people. And white people at that, too. She's going to hate some white people.
More precise question.
Yes, please, give me the time period.
Mr. Wade visited you at the place you laid your head.
When?
Has he ever visited you at the place you laid your head?
So let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in, right here.
By the way, this is actually a form of filibustering to try to avoid the question. And the prosecuting attorney is not having it.
I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth,
Judge.
And it is a lie. It is a lie.
Ms. Willis?
Mr.
Sano, thank you. We're going to take 5 minutes.
Yes.
Be back in 5.
Yeah, they're going to need them 5 minutes. You're going to need more than 5 minutes. I got to move. Where are you going to move to? New York? And you and Letitia James going to bunk up? Wouldn't that be something?
Quote me accurately.
So it's your position because Mr. Wade was not an employee? Or it's your position he
Oh,
wasn't?
this is gold. She tries to disqualify Nathan Wade as an employee and use terminology to try to distance herself as a coworker from this guy, considering the fact that they were working together, which means they were co-working the case. Okay?
You would.
I think that's the statement that I made. So if you want to quote me accurately.
So, it's your position because Mr. Wade was not an employee, or it's your position he wasn't an employee, correct?
Mr. Wade is not an employee, and he will tell you that over and over again.
That's gonna need to take more fives. Another 5 minutes, please. Another 5 more minutes there. And this is where she, instead of using the word $1,000, she's going to say, "If you want a G, I'll get you a G." No, we don't want a gram. We don't want a gram. We want $1,000, please. Yeah. Let's see if I can get this to fuel up. Come on, YouTubes.
Just like you're asking me about the money with Robin. I don't do my friends like that. So if you tell me it's a G, then you're going to get $1,000. Whatever it is, I didn't ever make him produce receipts to me. Whatever he told me it was, I gave him the money back.
Wow. You mean to tell me, once again, super high profile case, prosecuting a recently sitting president under some serious charges of RICO. Probably would have been a good idea to maybe make a few copies, a little copy or two there. But that's and like I say, her wording is something else, man. She does that. So anyways, that's where we're at. This is the beginning of the case. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Donald Trump himself is there. He's watching this in real time. He's standing over this like going, I don't know what's going to happen in this case, but I mean, it seems like there is actual real courting going on here. So that's a good sign. I don't know, guys, but in the comment sections, please let me know what you think about what's happening, and y'all have a good rest of the day ahead. I'm going to get back to work. Got a lot more stuff to do today, and I'll see you guys soon. I'm out.